Page 28, Under the Bridges of Paris. At the top of page 28, they're introducing the key of F, the scale, the F major scale. F has one flat. They show it there. It is a B flat. Simply means every B in a piece, no matter where it's at, is automatically going to be flat. So if you run across a B, instead play a B flat. Right. Usually you use the same finger as what you would have used for the B, you use for the B flat. Usually, not always. If they want a B natural, they have to put a natural sign. Go start with the right hand. Take a look at the fingering right off at the beginning of this. There at the bottom of page 28, you have a 1, 2, 4. Those 4 notes actually make a chord. It used to be an F chord, believe it or not. And that is a good fingering. That is the fingering for that chord. Don't use third finger on the A. Use the fourth finger. At the top of page 29, in the second and third measure, you have a tied. The G is tied with third finger. And then on the fourth measure, you're going to play that G with second finger, just so you know. Second line on page 29, the last 2 measures. Right hand, you have a D. Crossover for the C sharp, a D. I recommend fourth finger on the G. It's there. Why not use it? You don't have to use fifth. I mean, even though on the third line you go down to the C, you have a quarter rest, so fourth finger's fine. Yeah, that's what I'd recommend. That's about all I had to say about the right hand, except for the very last note in the piece happens to be a staccato. So while you're playing that F in the right hand, those last 2 measures, you're tying it over. I guess they make the right hand a staccato, so both hands end at the same time, right? So the left hand. So the left hand does that, and when the left hand does the staccato, the right hand comes up with it. Otherwise, the right hand would stay down for the full beat. Off. That's not what they want, so that's a staccato in both. For the left hand, take a look at the top of page 29. First few measures, okay? You have an F sharp, and it's the third finger. Now, the last measure on page 28, you had a thumb on the F natural. You're crossing over to get the third finger on the F sharp. And now look what they've done. They want a 4 and a 1 on the F B flat. A little awkward, but in this case it's sort of necessary. Because in the next measure, you got to have a 5, 1 on the E B flat. Okay? That's awkward too, but again, it's necessary. The B flat is tied. You got to hold it down for both. You don't play it again. So the bottom note, the F, going to the E, are connected. So that's about all you can do, unfortunately. However, in the next measure, finally you get to play the B flat with the second finger, which is what I'd prefer to do all along anyway. An alternate fingering for that, what I would probably do, is you have the third finger on the F sharp. Rather than doing a 4-1, I don't like to do that, I would do a 4-2, because you can reach the index finger up, right, to the B flat, and then hold it down, and then you can do an E. You're going to use the 2 to play the next B flat anyway, so I would do that so we don't have to have the thumb, because that pushes you up in the awkward spots. It's up to you. If you're small and your fingers are little, you can get away with this pretty easy. If you're big with fat fingers, it doesn't work at all. So putting a 2 on that B flat is safer. Second line, second measure on page 29. They're pointing out the natural sign. Hopefully you already know what a natural sign is. That means play a B natural, not a B flat. They want a B natural. And 2 measures later, another B natural. Then the last measure, they put a flat in parentheses. They don't need it there at all. They don't need anything there. You should play a B flat automatically. Because the natural sign is only good for the measure. Once you cross the bar line, it cancels it out. So since there's a B flat in the key signature, you'd play a B flat. That's why it's in parentheses. They're just reminding you, oh, by the way, this is a B flat. Okay? Some publishers do and some don't. Some leave it up to you, got to know it. And others will remind you, oh yeah, it's a B flat. Third line down, the thumb plays the F. Right? You got a quarter note, or excuse me, you got a quarter rest at the end of the second line to get your hand down there. And then I already talked about the end with the staccato, so we do that. Roadmap wise, you just play it through. There's no repeats or no DC, DS, nothing here. You just play it through. 3/4 time. Don't see anything really tricky about the counting. It's quarter notes and half notes and dotted half notes and whatnot. So let's try this out and see. Give us 3 counts and we'll play it together slowly. I'm going to leave the metronome at 70. I think we can handle 70. That's quarter notes, right? Okay. So the right hand here, left hand here. Okay. 1, ready, go.